Hey friends, we're so glad you're here and have tuned into So, What Makes You Come Alive podcast. We're your hosts, Gabe the Girl
and Michaela McGee, and we're here to explore what it would look like to take ownership of and change the narratives of our lives to live a life fully alive.
Hello, friends, and welcome back for another fine installment of So, What Makes You Come Alive podcast. We are so excited to have yet another fabulous guest here today. We have Leila here, and I'm going to let Gabe take it away with a little intro.
Awesome. Hey guys, welcome back. Here we have today one of my most favorite humans, if I'm to be honest. She is a firecracker. Leila and I met back in university days. We also spent some time working together in higher education post-university days. And I just fully enjoy every time I'm in her presence. And when I'm around her, she makes me feel all lit up inside because she is one of those people that you just know she's living life fully alive. And so, Leila, I just wanted to ask you to give us a little intro, just a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're up to now in your life. I don't know, interesting facts.
Well, interesting fact. I broke both of my, no, just kidding.
Oh, no.
Hey, everyone. Just jump into childhood broken bone stories. I always feel like those are so fun to share. But thank you for that beautiful intro, Gabe. I am so blessed and honored to know you. You inspire me with the way that you move through the world. And I think we're very similar in that way that we both love traveling. Right now, I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I have been here my whole life. This area is called Hampton Roads, 757. It's really, I am a remote worker, so that gives me the freedom to move around, to travel around as I deem fit. And yeah, I'm just really into my community and bridge building, networking, things like that. So really just cultivating spaces for people to get together, being in spaces where people get together, and then also going out in the world and just experiencing life. So that's a little bit about me. I have no more fun facts.
She has plenty of fun facts. She just has too many to share all in a short podcast episode.
Yeah, that could be a whole episode.
Oh yeah, girl. I know you could write books. I'm sure you will one day. But we'll jump right into it by asking you, what makes you feel fully alive?
That is a great question. And I don't think a lot of people think about that often. They're just going through life. But I know the times I have felt the most alive, fully alive, is when I am experiencing the world, and that could be as big as traveling, going on a trip, seeing something new. It can be as small as experiencing a new culture in my hometown, meeting somebody new and hearing about their culture. I just feel like my life is just always expanding when I meet new people, when I see new things and have new experiences. And then when I can connect people in those spaces or welcome them into those spaces as well and give them a good experience, that is when I feel truly alive, fully alive.
Can you tell us about your most recent experience where you felt like that?
Absolutely. Yes, I can, because I last month went to Brazil for the first time ever. And we were in Rio de Janeiro, and there's also Rio the state. So when I was in Brazil, it was just so colorful, such an open culture. You're standing on Copacabana, looking at the ocean, looking at mountains, and I was like, God is real. Look at all this beauty. Beautiful people. The body, I don't even think it's called body positivity. I think it's just body neutrality down there. Everybody, bikinis, every shape, size, age, in bikinis. I loved it so much. The food was great. The conversations were good, even though I don't speak a lick of Portuguese. I speak a little bit now. But yeah, that was my most recent fully alive experience, where it motivated me that I'm going to go back to Brazil and stay for a month just to get more of this,
Heck yeah. That is amazing. For those of you guys not watching this on YouTube and just listening on the podcast, like most of our listeners do, my jaw dropped to the floor when I heard that you got to go to Brazil. So jealous. What took you down there?
So one of my best friends from college, he's a missionary kid, so he's grew up in Senegal but is Brazilian, and he met his wife in Brazil, and they decided to have that's where they had their wedding. So I was honored to be invited, and we were down there for a week to celebrate that union, and yeah, it was great to have somebody who's like native and like knows the language, like
Yeah.
take you around and
Mhm.
explore, because we kind of went up and down the coast of Rio. So
Gosh.
yeah, and but I'm like, everybody go to Brazil. It's such
Heck
a
yeah.
good time. Like, if you haven't, put it on your list.
Oh
I've
my
heard that
gosh.
Brazilian weddings are like out of this world, like so fun.
I try not to, I mean, I don't know if I make this public. I rank weddings in my head and I'm like, this is the best wedding I've ever been to. This is the best
Yikes.
one. And
Wow.
another one of my friends was here and I was like, you just boom. Because it was like the ceremony, there was food beforehand, drinks beforehand, and then it was like buffet style food just all night. They dance until they drop, like it
Mhm.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. So it
No,
was
no.
American weddings don't compete.
No, no, definitely not. Those Brazilians definitely know how to throw a good party, especially with the
Oh
food.
yeah.
Oh, that food is next
So
level.
good.
Oh man. All right. Well, next time that you go to a wedding there, just keep me in mind for your date. I'm just saying. I'm gonna put that out there.
All right, be my
Obviously.
+1.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I have a couple of friends here locally that are getting married in Brazil in January 2025, and I'm in the bridal party, and I don't even know what to expect.
Hey, girl.
Girl, get
So I'm
ready, get
like,
ready.
watching Leela go to this wedding and seeing everybody just like, I mean, the energy, you could see, I'm not even there. You could see the energy, you could see the joy, the
Hmm.
excitement. Like, everybody's living fully alive in that moment, but I'm like
It's
thinking
so
ahead, like,
real.
this is going to be great.
Yeah, it
Oh
is.
yeah,
Oh my gosh,
have
I'm
so
so
much
excited.
fun.
How
Wow.
cool.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. Man, I mean, I could talk all day long about going to Brazil and learning all the things and everything. But for the sake of the podcast, I'd love to know, Leela, what inspires or encourages you to actually live a life that's fully alive?
Ooh, I think so. This is gonna get a little bit morbid, but that's how
Share
I live
away.
sometimes. I
Bring
think
it.
just like really the inevitability of death like really inspires me to live my fullest life. I ran across a term a couple of years ago called that is memento mori, which is like a religious practice, and it can be like it's so big, it's like it can be a lot of different things, but basically it's this saying that's like, remember you will die. Like, so knowing that, to me there's no other option but to live fully alive, because I
Mm,
get one chance at this life, I get one chance at these experiences, and that is so beautiful because it's not infinite. So yeah, just remembering that this is it, one shot,
yeah.
like make it the best, make it the most,
Hmm.
like that is what inspires me and moves me forward too. Of um I think if I'm ever in a decision of like, do I want to do something traditional in the norm, or do I want to do something that's a little bit more daring or a little bit out there, I'm like, do the daring thing, because you get one life. So
Hmm. Yeah, and I love that because of your love for travel and, connecting with, broadening your horizons and broadening your world, your scope, like you're getting to take
mhm,
advantage of, I mean, it's crazy to think about like the small percentage of people that we get to encounter in our lives, or the small percentage of
yeah,
things that we actually get to see and experience from other cultures, and or just
mhm,
right around the corner in another neighborhood in our own city. It's
yeah,
about pushing out there, and you're doing that in your own life. I love to see that.
Totally.
yeah,
And I
thank
feel
you.
like that practice that you were doing is like, I know that there's a lot of people, maybe more so these days, that are kind of breaking that traditional norm of like, they don't necessarily want to wait until retirement to start living. Like, what's the
Mhm.
point?
Yeah,
Of waiting until we're in our
yeah,
60s, what will inevitably be in our 70s by the time we're allowed to retire? Like, no, thank you. but we're not
Talk about
even
it. Yeah.
promised, right? Like we're not promised tomorrow. So why on earth would we not live fully alive now? I think that the mindset that you have around this of knowing that death is inevitable and we have no idea when that's going to happen. So why on earth not live every single moment to its fullest? Like it's beautiful. I do understand what you're saying by it being a little bit morbid, but it's so true. Like this is a truth that you can't, it doesn't even matter what you believe. Like even people who might believe in like reincarnation or something, like you still have to die to then come back and like do it all over again. But like, you still at the end of the day only have one shot at this particular life in this particular time. Why would we not like soak it all up? And the colors are so bright.
I think too, this life that I have is so privileged in a way in the time period that I was born, like with the resources that I have, like the internet and like cell phones and like you can go anywhere. I love solo travel too. Like I feel like the safest it has ever been for a woman to travel by herself. Or just even to live fully alive, like because there's less restrictions and all these things, still a ways to go. But I don't want to, when I think about like my ancestors or even my grandmother who lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania her whole life, she's still with us, but she just moved down to into my mom's house in Virginia. Like she didn't leave Pittsburgh. Like she liked to travel around, take road trips and stuff, but she was a mother and a nurse and like had to do that to take care of her family. And I honor that like sacrifice and honor the life that she had, but I'm going to use that as a launching pad for me of like, well, I don't have those same things, but I do have the privilege of knowledge, the privilege of funds to travel and like to go. So like why not? That's the thing always. Why not?
Yeah, Leila's part of that 7% of Americans, people from the United States that are actually using their vacation days during the year. I fully believe that. There's a statistic
100%.
out there that's like, there's a statistic out there. I mean, I help my sister with a bit of her travel agency business, and the statistic is, it's like around 7% of people who work full time in America are actually taking their vacation days. And the rest are like not taking them, and they don't carry over or just not taking them at all. And you're like, but why not?
Yeah.
Shoot, that will never be me. I'm always like checking my PTO portal because I'm like, how many hours do I got? I'm gonna go. All right, so we're leaving.
And then when do I take a sick day? I mean, like,
yeah. I think it's also really powerful that you can have like express that gratitude for what your grandmother did to set up future generations, for you to have, basically grown up in a somewhat stable life because she took the time to nurture her family and also be there to financially support her family. And it gets to go beyond each generation. Like you are benefiting greatly from the fact that she did that. And maybe she didn't even want to go out and travel, but somehow, somewhere in your lifetime, it was fostered to really, truly love and appreciate travel. And what a gift that you have that appreciation. You can feel that gratitude for your grandmother and go out and explore. Because I'm sure it actually brings her joy that you are going and doing those things and bringing back some awesome stories.
It brings her joy. It brings my mother stress.
But you come back.
That passed over. I'm like, Mom, I'm fine. It's fine. When I did a solo cross country road trip, my mom was like, you are the reason I am aging.
Oh,
I was like,
Oops.
You raised me.
True.
But you get to come back and share the wealth, which is so cool. There's a richness that comes from, traveling and getting to come back and share that with others, and inspire others. So I really love that. Love that you get to do that.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling and, kind of some other people's perceptions of how travel goes for you and maybe the stress it creates on mom, like what are some of the challenges that you have faced in attempting to live a life fully alive?
Oh man, the challenges. They're here to make us, to grow us. Um, I do feel like sometimes I struggle a lot with selfishness, and like, when am I living life fully alive, or when am I just being selfish, like when, because my father kind of raised me with a mentality of like, you do what you want to do when you want to do it type of thing. But as somebody who also loves community and connection, I feel like there are relational responsibilities that I have and am honored to have, that sometimes just are just challenging, because um it's like, am I going to spend money to go to this new place that I've never seen before, meet new people I've never seen before, or do I like stay home and um engage with my community? And like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a very specific example. I think, what, actually, with my grandmother, let's keep it in the family realm. So with my grandmother now being here, I'm fully remote. My mother's a hybrid worker. She has to go in 2 days a week. So 2 days a week I'm over at my mom's house helping out with my nana. And that has felt challenging already, of like, well, I wanted to go spend a week in Charlotte, or I wanted to go here. Now I have to take care of, and I want to help with my family, but I also am always like, where can I go next? So like a fully alive life, I think, includes like your family, includes your community, and there is that responsibility that you have to like engage in. But sometimes I'm just selfish, and I'm like, I just want to do what I want to do. So trying to iron that out of myself is like one of the challenges, I think.
Yeah, it's a fine balance though. Like I think that there's a lot of good to doing what you want to do, because if it is something that lights you up, it's ultimately going to light up other people too, because they're going to see that, be encouraged by it. But you're right. I'm like, we do have responsibilities when we're engaging, in relationship with other human beings. Like you're not just a hermit living in a cave somewhere by yourself and then going out and finding things that light you up. But part of what lights you up, sounds like, is being around people, being in community.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I see those challenges though.
The way the Lord made me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. But I feel like the community piece it's a beautiful part of life. It can really light you up, but it can also be a challenge for listening to the other things, like wanting to go to Charlotte, wanting to go wherever, do whatever. I can relate.
Yeah.
It probably makes those times of travel and the times where you do get to go out and do what you want to do even that much more special too, right? Because
yeah, that is true.
You can't just pick up and go anytime, any moment. And so you have to be strategic, and there's more intention placed on what you're doing, and it raises the stakes a little bit, right? When we raise the stakes, you're like, this is really important. And I know Leila, she likes to make really incredible memories and get the most out of her experiences. What can I do? What can I see? What can I taste? And so I'm sure
taste, yes.
Yes, taste. So I love that you, in your challenges, you actually therein are, it's like those challengers are giving what lights you up that much more value and that much more importance.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Man.
So great.
Great. I mean, I need to remember that too.
Right?
Next time I'm like, oh, I can't go that day because of this. I'm like, wait, let's elevate. Is this going to matter a week from now, 2 weeks from now? Probably not, so just keep on going, keep moving.
I think that's a really powerful nugget there. And I was just going to ask Leila if she's got a big nugget or a little nugget of encouragement, wisdom.
Big nugget, little nugget, however many nuggets.
She's got to be a golden nugget that you can give
no.
to anybody who is actually desiring to live a life that is fully lit up. I mean, I feel like you've already given a bunch, but man, right after Gabe put the perspective on that one, I'm like, wow, I'm going to take that nugget too.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is a nugget for someone. Hopefully, I would say so in this. So for me, it's travel. That's what makes me feel fully alive. It's my community. It's my people. But I would say whatever that is for other people. First, you got to find out what that is for you, and then just like nurture it in small ways until it can be big things. So I know, like, for me with solo travel, until I could take like just down to a farmer's market that's a couple hours away, or day trips or things like that. Like, just there's one of the things I learned in one of my trips is that you are never helpless. Like, you can always find a way. So once you find out what it is that lights you up, pursue that in whatever big or small ways, I would say. And don't stop until you get it, and then you will get it, and then you'll want it more, and you just keep going and going and going until you find new things. And that's the fun about like finding yourself, finding what lights you up, is that it's never just one thing. It's kind of like I don't know, like a kaleidoscope, maybe. Like, you're like, oh, it's this, and then you just turn it a little bit and it's the same thing, but it's like, but it's also this. And so that was a bad analogy.
No, that was perfect.
That was lovely.
I love that. Now I know what we're going to title this episode too.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's some inspiration right there.
Oh, yeah.
Leila, do you remember like one of your first moments of feeling fully alive when you were like traveling, or like you said, like adventuring? Just as you said, you kind of like you could nurture this and see it grow and expand. Do you remember some of those beginning times?
Absolutely. And this is going to sound so commercial and so bad, but it truly was such a thing. When I was a kid, Disney got me with their Disney Cruise Lines. We can come on a Disney cruise. So that marketing completely worked. And I, throughout my childhood, tried to get my family to go on a cruise, but I was raised by a single mother, so we did not have the money, especially for a Disney cruise. But I had a friend group in college, and this is truly, like, I talk about this all the time because it was like the moment like my life shifted. I had a friend group in college. I was talking about the dream to go on a cruise, and one of my friends, the one who actually invited me to Brazil for his wedding, was like, let's go on a cruise. We can go on a cruise. Like, let's do it. And I was like, it had never occurred to me, like, oh, this thing I've been wanting to do forever that I could do. And like, I was so lucky to do it with a group of people that were fun and into it. And we planned a trip, and like, we road trip down to Florida for a Royal Caribbean cruise. And like, the moment I stepped on the ship, it's just such a, like, a vital memory for me, because it was like, like, this is it. This is my dream realized. And like, we pulled it together in a couple of months. We just need to save money, plan, and go. And I think that moment of like, anything I want to do, I can do. Like that. Yeah. That was it. That was it for me.
Honestly, I feel like what you just said is freaking huge. Like, save for it, plan it, and go. Like, people can so easily get hung up on the save for it and plan it part. Doesn't matter what the it part is, whether it's travel or something else, or pursuing a passion, something that lights them up. If they're not going and doing it, they're denying themselves and really the whole world of them in their most lit up state. But people get scared really easily.
Oh yeah. And that fear, like, that fear can be real, but like, just, you got to push past the fear, and the fear doesn't last forever. Like, if you just kind of, that's where I use that. Is this going to matter a year from now, a month from now, a week from now? Usually the answer is no, because I don't even know what I was worrying about a year ago, So it's like, just do it.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, sometimes before we are able to, step in and see the dream realized, like you said, like, people will get hung up on certain things. And I think one of them is like, I don't even know where to start. And I think you gave really great advice where you say, just start by nurturing it. Start with something
Mm-hmm.
small. Start with something that looks like you're headed in the right direction. You're taking a small step that eventually is going to become the greater dream, or that thing that makes you feel lit up and fully alive realized. I love that
Absolutely.
nugget of wisdom, Leila. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You're
So many
welcome.
golden nuggets today.
Can I share one more thing just in that realm too?
Of
Well,
course.
it's just more one of my goals because so there is a
Please.
cruise that I want to go on. I call it my retirement cruise because it is $70,000 to go
Ooh.
on, and
Is
it's
this
like,
around the world?
yeah, it's an around the world one. But when I was like, I want to go on this, I started a savings goal, and I just chip away at it, just like throwing the money in there, and it's like,
Wow.
I'm gonna do this. I will absolutely do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's just gonna take a while. It's gonna take years, but unless I win the lottery,
Cross
but
his fingers.
oh, Lord, let me go. But just big dreams. I have big dreams. I have small dreams, and it's like you can. I'm working towards all of them,
Yeah.
and I hope everybody who listens to this, like whatever your dreams are, get close to me. Go work towards them. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yes. Thank you.
I love this.
Oh
my
it's
gosh.
so good. She goes coming close. So good. Big
Legit,
dreams
man.
with really intentional steps of nurturing it. I'm gonna chew
Yeah.
on that. I'm gonna chew on
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna cry over it. It's fine. I'm already wiping away some tears right now.
Get teary.
This is
Okay.
it's
We can
so
cry on the
good.
show. It's so good.
Yeah.
Y'all are beautiful.
Aw.
You are. Thank you for being here with
Thanks for letting me
us.
talk about it. Oh,
Thank you
happy
so much
to.
for
Look at us
being
all
here.
connected all around the world.
I
Yeah.
know.
Right?
So good.
Several different time zones. Good. It's good.
Mhm.
Leila, it has been a joy
Anything's
and a
possible, ladies.
pleasure.
Anything's
Yes. There you go. We're so glad to have had this conversation with you, and we hope that our listeners feel connected to Leila and inspired by her stories and encouragement, and feel empowered to even tackle their own challenges amidst pursuing living a life more fully alive. If you would like to connect with Leila, we are going to be linking her details in this podcast post on Instagram, YouTube's, and the Facebook. And if you have any questions for Leila, or want to ask us a question about today's episode, or just, have something that stuck out to you and you wanted to share, feel free to drop a comment on one of the social media platforms. And we can't wait to hear from you. Feel free to go ahead and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at @ThriveFullyAlive, or shoot us an email at thrivefullyalive@gmail.com. And until next time, this is Gabe the Girl.
And Michaela, we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to So What Makes You Come Alive. We're so inspired by the conversations we get to have with everyday humans about what lights them up and how to love the story they're living. We hope that you feel just as inspired too.
Interested in getting in on the inspiration? Click the link in our Instagram bio at @ThriveFullyAlive and select the option for The One About You. Be our guest. Remember to tune in each week for a new episode where we explore what it looks like to get back to living our best story, where we hope that your favorite story becomes your own.